Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live session on YouTube, where we will be discussing the impact of AI and automation in India's job market. I'm your host, Siddhant Singhal, and we have a special guest with us today. Joining us is Puneet, the CEO of Labeler, a company that offers comprehensive solutions to help ML teams build computer vision. Uh, is my voice echoing? Am I audible?
Yes, Siddhant, you're audible.
Great. Hmm. So, yeah, welcome, Puneet. Handing
Thank
over
you.
the mic to you. You can introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure. Thank you, Siddhant, first of all, for having me and giving me the opportunity to interact with the audience over your podcast. And hello, everyone. Good evening from those who are logged in from India. So, my name is Puneet, and I currently head product and technology at Labeler. What Labeler is, to give you an idea, let me just share, like, I'm sure everyone knows what is chat gpt, right? I mean, I think it has entered into our daily lives. So companies like OpenAI and others, right, use our data engine to actually build their data so that they can build AI solutions. So that's what we offer as a labeler. So this is a collaborative data engine to help companies prepare their data such that they can train their models for their AI solution. So that's a nutshell, and a bit about my introduction. So I am I've been spent around 10 plus years in the industry before building Labeler, and majorly I started as a software engineer. Then I kind of moved into business intelligence roles, and from there I looked at automation of BI, which is where I entered into AI. And then I went on leading AI initiatives at companies like Walmart, RateGain, and so on. And this is where I identified a problem in the market, which was about the data preparation. So that's a quite of a high level my journey has been, and this is a bit of my introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, Puneet. That was very inspiring. So, could you tell us how you started or how you started this journey into AI and what fascinated you to work in this field specifically?
Okay. So let me go back to the time when I was at delivery. Uh, it's around in 2013. Uh, I was like, uh, look. I mean, I was a developer. I was developing into Python language and other, you know, sort of role. I was just like sitting idle, and I kind of saw that there was some data that I could look at, and the data was about the servers, how much server usage was happening for our software. And then something occurred to me that in that data, I could see that I could save around 23 hours of compute time. Eventually something running, so our servers were running for 24 hours for a certain job, but only 1 hour was actually being used to compute those results. So I said, I mean, 23 hours of saving that I can bring just by looking at this data, small piece of data, right? And then we took some action around it, and we were able to save certain amount of good amount of compute hours. And that's where it you know took me to a thinking that, okay, is it something that I can use my engineering and data to combine and bring some returns for the organization? So I think I would give the credit to the curiosity that I had, that okay, I just wanted to look at this data. And then and I started doing more detailed deep dive business intelligence across operations, or the other areas of the business at delivery itself. So I kind of migrated my role from a software developer to the business intelligence, where we look at numbers on how the decision has to be made, which department need to do what based on the the logistics operations that were running in the company across the country.
Yeah.
So that shaped up my career as a thing. And then I thought, okay, let me explore more domains. And then I got into healthcare, diagnostics, and then I moved into travel industry, e-commerce industry. I mean, I did multiple stints at mid-sized companies and the startups in combination. Just to summarize, all of the companies that I worked with, either they have done their IPO successfully, or they have been acquired by very large companies. So they are so I think I'm proud of that and across all, the curiosity to look at the data in depth, even at the petabyte scale, and
Mhm.
then make some actionable decisions is
Mhm.
something was at the core, and
Mhm.
that kept me going, right?
Right.
So that was the common denominator.
Right. Right. I think that that's a great feat that you have achieved in all the companies. Okay. So the next question that I and my users have is, what's the impact of AI on jobs since it is now being widely used?
Okay, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Each day this question comes,
Yeah.
and everyone has this question, whether someone entering the market or whether someone is on a non AI kind of a role,
Hmm.
right? So there are reports that I'm sure all of you must be looking at. Some report will say, oh, 300 million jobs will be automated by
Hmm.
2030, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's the norm. Any technological revolution that has come in the past and
Hmm.
will continue to come, right?
Hmm.
Disruptions will continue to come. But
Hmm.
if we look at the past, right, even the industrial revolution came, it
Hmm.
created more jobs
Right.
than it kind of made some obsolete. And it would
Right.
happen now as well.
Hmm.
Some jobs are going to be obsolete, some jobs are going to be, and I think more jobs are going to be created. I'm a very optimistic about it, right?
Right.
So, and what would happen is that this data science and AI as a discipline would enter into every role. So every role is going to be augmented. Take for example,
Hmm.
in any organization, just to put it simply, there is marketing, there is sales, there
Hmm.
is operations, HR, right,
Hmm.
strategy, and whatnot, engineering itself, right? Every What would happen is every role is going to become a data driven role, wherein
Right.
what I used to call it as, I think in back in 2016-17, we ran an initiative called as Data Citizen Initiative. And
Okay.
what that actually meant was this, that everyone in their function need to start using data more often to make their decisions, right?
Right.
For example,
Hmm.
I'm going to run so for example, I'm a marketing person and I'm going to
Hmm.
run a marketing campaign, right?
Hmm.
Earlier, the data accessibility or data generated was not was not that often, and it was
Right.
more of a experience based of the person, that they would say, okay, let's run this campaign, let's put this money and run this ad campaign, right? Later on, now, because for every each campaign that is run, the data is now, organizations are now collecting that data. With that data, now, what as a marketing person I would need to do or should do to have a competitive edge, I should use that data to finally take a decision that whether should I should run this ad or not, or whether
Okay.
I should modify this ad or not, right?
Right. Right.
And even an advanced version of that is
Hmm.
use AI, which is a
Hmm.
more advanced version of the data science. A part of
Hmm.
the data driven analytics is,
Right.
how can I even automate that whatever way I looked at the data and decided
Hmm.
that what modification needs to be done,
Hmm.
then so I can use AI to automate this process to a certain extent, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so this is an example of how data science and AI are gonna touch every single role. So it's
Right.
important to upskill. That's the
Right.
only thing. Lifelong learning. I think that's a core. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We at Newton School believe the same. Okay, moving on to the next question. So, what are the new roles that are now opening up due to AI?
Okay. So that's a bit tricky question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Though I have tried to answer this in my previous question in this previous question, right? So every
Mm-hmm.
role is going to be data driven role.
Right.
What that title is going to be called is not as important as of now.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later we are going to find that, okay, by going into platforms like yours, or LinkedIn, or wherever the jobs opening are happening, what one thing has started happening. So for example, there was hardly any jobs around compliances of data when building some software, right? Now there
Yeah.
are like, I think I'm sure every one of you have heard about GDPR, which happened, and then recently Europe is brought in with another act around AI, how
Yeah.
we need to use AI, build and use AI responsibly, right? So a lot of new jobs are going to be created in such a way, and in for every department. Data analyst, I mean, there was no, for few years back, there was no person as data analyst for marketing, but now
Mm-hmm.
even marketing would have their own function of data science,
Mm-hmm.
sales would have their own function of data science, or maybe it could be a shared services in a, depending on the organization to organization and their size. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing is, what common would be that, if, I mean, the ability to use data, ability to crunch data, those
Right.
skills are going to be need to be adopted so that those roles can be created. Now, someone would say, I mean, marketing analytics. Someone will say AI-driven marketing, and
Right.
then the organizations will define new roles. I mean, the titles. I think
Right.
titles doesn't matter then, but
Huh.
right now, but that is the core learning, that those skills are the ones that needs to be adopted.
Right. Okay, so you said that more and more job roles will be related to data science and it'll become more data driven, right?
Yes, yes.
So, what advice you have for freshers or someone who is not from this background and wants to explore this field of data science?
Okay, so what advice I have for the
Yeah,
freshers? Okay,
yeah.
if,
How,
when
how,
when
how
we
can a
say
fresher
freshers,
enter this
sorry, how can a fresher enter into the field?
field?
Okay,
Yeah,
so I think, so when we say freshers, are we referring to the ones who are passing out of the college, or we are also referring to the ones who are already experts in some domain and then who are already
right.
working?
It can be both. I mean, a
Okay, okay.
person who is new to the data science field.
Okay,
It
okay.
can
The
be
beginners into data science and AI. Okay.
absolutely,
So
yeah.
I think let me put it in two ways. I can take my own example, right? So
Sure.
my strength was that I did my computer science engineering from an
Mhm.
institute called Harper, right? When I
Yeah.
passed out from there, I ended up spending around, I think, 3 to 4 years in my early journey building softwares, right?
Mhm.
This gave me an idea of what is a software development life cycle and what needs to be built for an enterprise level software. So this
Right.
was my strength.
Hmm.
Though in my case it happened accidentally that I ended up looking at data. But now data science is a widely known domain, and it's a one of the most sought for skills anyone could have, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Precisely for the reason that every role is going to be a data driven role, right? So one, the beginners can look at any courses on
Hmm.
how a particular course can impact their field, right? So if
Okay.
I'm an
Okay.
engineer, for me it was
Hmm.
more of that I entered in the coding part of the data science. So I
Hmm.
started picking up some data and started writing some Python scripts or R script. Back then, R was more popular.
Hmm.
But being a Python developer, I also use Python and all. And then started analyzing data, take some data, build some hypothesis. Okay, given a retail data store, a data of a retail store on transaction happened in the past 3 years, what insights that I can extract out of it? right? So that's the most basic thing. We call it exploratory data analysis, let's say, right?
Right.
So I have the ability to write a code. Back then tools were not there, but now the tools are even there. So even someone who is not even an expert, who is not even expert in coding, they can also use some lot of these data analysis tools where they can, or even use Excel for the matter.
Yeah.
I mean, and they can just load that data, write some macros, analyze it, do draw pivots and all. They get hold of it, get dirty with the data,
Hmm.
or in more comedy sense, like date with the data. That's the first step.
Yeah.
Be a good data engineer, okay? And
Hmm.
that data engineer doesn't mean that you need to write software. You can use
Hmm.
software to build that hypothesis and draw some conclusions around that. So
Yeah.
that's a way. But then I think to do that, having an access to a course or guided course or a mentor
Hmm.
would help.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's my recommendation. So that only thing is, choose your strength as a guiding point to enter. Don't, you are from marketing, don't try to solve from for HR problems, because you already know marketing use cases. So it's better
Right.
that you pick up those scenarios, right?
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I
And
think
what
that's the way. Yeah.
understood?
Yes, please.
And what advice do you have for people who are just fresh out of college and they don't have any work experience or specialization in a particular field? For them, the world is open and they can choose any opportunity. So, in what particular field should they use their ex- I mean data science knowledge?
Yeah, I think for them it's even a better opportunity, because they have more. They for them it's like, if they are just passing out of the college, right, fresh out of the college, or just passing out of the college, right, uh,
Hmm.
just focus on, just first, just subscribe to probably one course or something like that, free plus guided course
Hmm.
or mentorship course, right, combined. Do that completely. The
Uh,
problem with lot of beginners, freshers or experienced, and especially with the freshers, what I have seen, the challenge that happens is that it starts with an excitement,
hmm.
and as they deep dive into that, it
Hmm.
they started picking up. Okay, let me pick up 10 courses in parallel. What
Right.
happens? Course completion rate goes low. There is
Yeah.
no single course. What I would suggest, I'm not saying that don't do 10 courses. I'm just
Right.
saying, suggesting, pick one by one, complete it properly, move on to next.
Right.
Complete another,
Right.
move on to next. And keep doing
Mhm.
it. Do it in a more experiential learning format, such that you have a good size project to explore or showcase, that you have,
Mhm.
after doing this course, this is the project that you tried on, and this is the conclusions, and this is inside, and build your portfolio. So,
Right.
and maybe take some help from a mentor or someone who can, in whatever way you can get the
Right.
opportunity. So for
Mhm.
them, they can literally enter, pick up any problem stage,
Mhm.
whatever they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are there any prerequisites to get into this field of AI and automation that you need to study, or you should have learned this particular concept in your college or school to get a job in this field?
I don't think so. See, prerequisites. I think the majority of the courses cover the basics of the majority of the courses cover the highlights of what is the prerequisites, and those
Right.
prerequisites are already part of our education system. So
Right.
one or the other way, we have already covered them. I literally can tell you that whatever we have covered in our mathematics in 10th
Yeah.
standard or ninth standard, right? Uh,
Hmm.
the basic equations,
Mhm.
I think pretty much that is what is powering AI. If we understand
Right.
those basics, only thing is, the curiosity is something that you need to
Uh-huh.
keep with yourself. The passion that, okay, I need to solve this problem. So that
Yeah.
is what keeps you stay in the game.
Right.
I think that's the thing. Yeah.
Right. So that means even a person from who is not from a non-tech background can pursue a career in AI, automation, data science, be
Yes,
it
yes,
data
yes, yes.
analyst, business analyst. Yeah.
True, true. Today, if you look at organizations, even
Mm-hmm.
someone who was not there nowhere in the data science field. See, what
Mm-hmm.
is like, I mean, now it's formally called data science.
Mm-hmm.
What was actually, they were already crunching some data. There are folks who are already, I mean, economics, someone from economics background, they were daily
Mm-hmm.
dealing with this data. Someone from
Right.
accounting perspective, someone who was into retail segment, someone into banking, right? Were they not
Right.
crunching the data? They were actually crunching the data. It's just that there is more formal process to it, and there is more formal role to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that has changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now there are more tools. Even a non-tech person can actually analyze the data beyond Excel scale. They can just
Right.
connect their data on the cloud, and they can actually do, so there are tools like Tableau, Power BI, and whatnot. I mean, they can just click, drag, and drop, and they are able to make sense out of the data. So it's like only thing left is human curiosity.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Um, so my next question would be, what kind of new avenues will this AI and automation open in the future? If you could tell in respect to the job market in India.
Well, I would say we always, as from a company perspective,
Hmm.
out of all the initiatives that I've led in the past and
Hmm.
now, and I believe in the future, there will
Hmm.
always be shortage of people. There will always be shortage of data scientists or data driven guys for
Right.
various roles across departments. I can tell you
Right.
right now, I have examples that we have five positions, 5 to 6
Hmm.
positions open, where we are preferring those people who actually look at their role in a more data driven way. I'm just repeating that thing. Why? Because someone, so for example, for marketing, right? We collect,
Hmm.
we kind of look at a lot of this user behavior who come to our website and use our tool, labeler tool, right? And we want, with that help, we're able to analyze and understand what is the user behavior accordingly so that we can improve the user experience of the tool, right?
Right.
So only if someone would have that mindset or who have the skills to analyze the
Hmm.
data is the person who will be able to help us. Just
Right.
by someone that someone is from marketing and not have the skills or not
Hmm.
have the mindset would not be able to
Hmm.
help us do that,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But so that's the thing, right? So the avenues are huge. I mean,
Hmm.
that are limitless. I would say, as of now, in my context, whatever I understand, whatever I know, I'm
Hmm.
very sure that avenues are very healthy, strong
Right.
in as an opportunity. So I mean, yeah, it's like very promising.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
good to know that it's a very promising field and have good job outlooks in the future. All right, let's have a few questions from our learners.
Sure.
You guys, you can ping your questions in the chat, and Puneet will answer the questions. So I can see a few questions that they're already there in the window. So
Okay.
there's this
So
question
can
from
I?
Anjali.
Okay. Okay. I was not able to see the chat earlier, so okay. Now I just saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Huh. So we
Yes,
have
please.
this question from Anjali. She's asking, is AI involved in the data science jobs? How is it involved?
Okay, good question. Hi, Anjali. Uh, Good question, actually. So, data science is a, so what is data science in a simple words is you have an organization is collecting the data, and we are applying some statistical techniques. Uh, it could be the most basic version of a statistical technique would be, let's say we find some number, we have some sales forecast or we have some monthly forecast numbers of sales, and we say that what is my average sales per month, right? So this is a mean. I mean, we studied this in ninth or 10th standard or later, right? So that is a data science, right? Now within that, when we start applying some automation, say that, let's say I need to forecast this sales for the over the coming years based on my past data. So this is sort of way statistical but automated way to identify and solve my problem. So that is a AI is a sort of paradigm, programming paradigm under data science as a discipline or under data science. So a data science someone hiring for data science job might or might not use AI. It depends on what is the roadmap of an organization. They might be already using AI, or they might use AI in the future, right?
Okay.
So that's the way it is related. I mean I'll try to summarize it quickly, so we
Yeah.
can keep on talking about it. Any other
Right.
question?
Yes, we have one from Ashwini. Um, how we start to AI from the beginning, and okay, so she's basically asking how can she venture into the field of AI. She is in second year CSE. So
Okay.
what advice do you have for her? What's the roadmap?
I think where hi Ashwini. So for your case, one, you continue to focus on your computer science basics, uh, right? Even in AI, you need to code that up. Being you're from computer science, I think you would always be looked at that. Okay, you bring in the engineering sense to AI, right? So for any kind of equation, right, you would need programs. You need to program a particular, let's say, function, saying that okay, if I input some image, it predicts something. Let's say a tree or something else. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but a few of our speakers want you to speak in Hindi. So
अच्छा अच्छा
if you could,
ठीक है आई ओके ओके ठीक है सो कैसे स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं कि एआई है जो आई मीन आप सेकेंड ईयर में हो कंप्यूटर साइंस में हो तो कंप्यूटर साइंस तो पहले कर लो आप अच्छे से उसको निगलेक्ट नहीं कर सकते बट साथ में आप जब भी आपका जो एक्स्ट्रा टाइम है आप उसमें कोई भी एक कोई भी कोर्स छोटा सा कोर्स पिक कर लो और साथ में एक डेटा पिक कर लो उसके ऊपर उसके ऊपर थोड़ा टाइम स्पेंड करो डेली का कि जहाँ पे आप एक एक घंटा करके आप उसके ऊपर डेटा के ऊपर कुछ इंसाइट्स निकालते हो कुछ चार्ट्स प्लॉट कर लो ठीक है चार्ट्स वगैरह बना लो कि अच्छा इस डेटा में आपको क्या मिला राइट बहुत नेट पे आपको बहुत कुछ मिल जाएगा बाकी न्यूटन स्कूल कैन ऑल्सो हेल्प यू गाइड यू इन डिफरेंट डायरेक्शन राइट व्हाट कैन बी पॉसिबल बट उसको बोलते हैं हम एक्सप्लोरेटरी डेटा एनालिसिस दिस इज फर्स्ट समथिंग दैट यू कैन ट्राई इट आउट ठीक है
राइट तो हमारा डेटा साइंस का कोर्स है जो अभी न्यूली लॉन्च हुआ है एंड आपको उसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा सो यू कैन गो देयर आप चेक कर सकते हो हमारे कोर्स का करिकुलम क्या जॉब प्रोस्पेक्ट्स रहेंगे आगे जाके एंड मीनवाइल अगर आपको कोई भी क्वेश्चंस हो तो पुनीत इज हियर टू आंसर ऑल दोस क्वेश्चंस आप चैट में बस डाल दीजिए अपना क्वेश्चन एंड वी हैव वन
हाँ जी
फ्रॉम श्रीकांत वो पूछ रहे हैं कि विच प्रोग्राम इज बेस्ट फॉर एआई सो
अच्छा
I don't know
विच
if it is the programming language if she's talking about if he's talking about
I think I'm not the best judge to answer this question. Uh, Maybe सिद्धांत आप बता सकते हो कि which program is best for AI.
no
मैं
so
टेक्निकलिटी लेवल पे बता सकता हूँ या फिर आप मेरे को एक बार क्वेश्चन को रिफ्रेश
uh,
करके बता दो हाँ जी
हाँ so maybe the programming language that is used in AI what
अच्छा
type of programming skills that are required there
प्रोग्रामिंग स्किल में तो इस टाइम पे पाइथन सबसे बढ़िया है ठीक है
right
क्योंकि
हाँ
पाइथन आई मीन ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ पाइथन है तो ही मशीन लर्निंग हो सकता है जावा में भी हो सकता है आर में भी हो सकता है इवन जावा स्क्रिप्ट में भी हो सकता है तो जावा
हाँ
स्क्रिप्ट और पाइथन बट अगर आप मेरे से पूछो कि सबसे टॉप पे क्या है जो
हाँ
सब लोग यूज कर रहे हैं तो
हाँ
पाइथन और जावास्क्रिप्ट ये जो स्टैक हैं सबसे ज़्यादा यूज में आ गए हैं बिकॉज यहाँ इसके ऊपर बनाना सबसे आसान है जल्दी बन जाता है कोई कोई प्रूफ ऑफ कॉन्सेप्ट बनाना है कुछ कोई डेमो बनाना है तो इस पे जल्दी बन
हाँ
जाता है उससे क्या हुआ कि जो रिसर्च कम्युनिटी है अगर आप यूएस में भी
हाँ
देखेंगे या उधर भी देखेंगे राइट अलग अलग यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में जहाँ से सबसे पहले इसका एवोल्यूशन ज़्यादा हुआ है राइट डेवलपमेंट ज़्यादा हो रही है तो वहाँ पे पाइथन और जावास्क्रिप्ट में ही सारे डेमोज पब्लिश किए जाते हैं
right
बट कोई रिस्ट्रिक्टेड नहीं है
okay
ठीक है
शायद मैंने एक ऊपर क्वेश्चन मिस कर दिया सो इट वाज फ्रॉम आकांक्षा वर्मा इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड इज डीएस अ गुड ऑप्शन आई थिंक यू हैव प्रोबब्ली आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन बट इफ यू कुड जस्ट आप वापस समझा सके
ओके इज डीएस इज अ गुड ऑप्शन
इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड या
हाँ हाँ मतलब डेटा साइंस को अलग फील्ड की तरह ना देखा जाए। डेटा साइंस को जैसे ऐसे समझ लो कि आईटी का बूम आया था 20 इयर्स पहले, है ना, कि
राइट।
हर पर्सन को अगर जॉब में जाना है तो जो सबसे ज़्यादा जॉब क्रिएशन हो रहा था वो सबसे ज़्यादा आईटी में हो रहा था, ठीक है। तो प्रोग्रामिंग सीखना या फिर आईटी में जो भी रोल्स थे, नए नए जो रोल बने, सेल्स, मार्केटिंग, अगर आपको जॉब में जाना है तो इन्हीं किसी जॉब में जा सकते हो, है ना। तो सबको वो स्किल्स तो लेनी पड़नी थी, कम्युनिकेशन करना ही पड़ना था। तो डेटा साइंस भी ऐसे ही हो जाएगा, ठीक है। इट्स जस्ट दैट फर्क ये होगा कि कोई डेटा साइंस बहुत कोर रोल होगा जो बहुत R&D होगा, जहाँ पे बहुत रिसर्च होगा। कोई रोल ऐसा होगा जो बहुत स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड बिजनेस फोकस रोल होगा। तो एक अगर हम उसको एक स्केल की तरह माने तो 0 से 100 है। 100 में 100 इज लाइक लेट्स से रिसर्च ओरिएंटेड है, जो प्योर कोर डेटा साइंटिस्ट हम बोल देते हैं, जो कि एक साल में नहीं आता। उसको बहुत सारी प्रैक्टिस और बहुत सारी लर्निंग कोर्सेज के थ्रू करने के बाद, एक्सपीरियंस लेने के बाद जाके वो इवॉल्व होता है। क्योंकि जब आप अलग अलग
राइट।
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम करोगे तो वो ऐसे इवॉल्व होगा। और एक है कि आपका एनालाइजिंग द डेटा, जो बेसिक चीज़ है वो तो सबको ही करनी पड़ेगी। 100 पे भी जाना है तो वो पहले करना ही पड़ेगा, ठीक है। एंड आई एम श्योर
राइट।
कि न्यूटन कुल भी आई थिंक ईडीए तो कवर कर ही रहा होगा डेटा साइंस में।
राइट।
तो राइट, राइट, ठीक है। तो आई थिंक
And
आई ट्राई टू आंसर दिस, सो दिस इज
yeah,
माय आंसर।
yeah. And I think that question that answers Raz your question कि अगर आप डेटा साइंस में घुसोगे तो जैसे पुनीत ने बताया कि इतनी अबंडेंस ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज आएंगी फ्यूचर में, तो आपको जॉब डेफिनेटली मिलेगी इफ यू स्टडी योर कोर्स एज वेल. So next question we have is from Abhinav. So what should be a major quality to be a successful data scientist?
ओके, सो ये क्वेश्चन मेजर क्वालिटी एज इन क्या, उसका क्या मतलब हुआ, मेजर क्वालिटी टू बी सक्सेसफुल?
Major quality in terms of academics के क्या आना चाहिए, क्या skills आनी चाहिए, या फिर um, क्या what should be in you to be successful in data science basically.
आई थिंक देखो, हार्ड वर्क तो हमेशा ही रहेगा, वो
हाँ.
टाइम इमोरियल है, राइट।
हाँ.
क्यूरियोसिटी है आप में कि वो डेटा को देख के ऐसा नहीं है कि डेटा से कुछ निकल नहीं रहा है तो चलो छोड़ दिया अगली प्रॉब्लम पे, ठीक है। वो पहले मैथमेटिक्स का, जब जब हम स्कूल में होते थे तो मैथमेटिक्स के प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते थे, ठीक है। जब नहीं हो रहा होता था, दो तरीके का माइंडसेट होता था कि या तो उसको बंद, नहीं मेरे को करना नहीं है, हम छोड़ देते थे वहीं पे, या फिर ये माइंडसेट होता मेरे को सॉल्व करना ही करना है, ठीक
Right.
है। तो वही चीज़ डेटा साइंस में कुछ नया नहीं है, मतलब कुछ भी नया नहीं है, ये सब वही है। अगर हम अपनी स्किल्स की बात करें तो एज ए ह्यूमन स्किल्स ना वही चीज़ है। जस्ट ये है कि हमें टूल्स सीखने चाहिए कि अच्छा, जो काम पहले एक हफ्ते में होता था, आज के दिन में वो टूल्स के साथ मैं 1 घंटे में कर सकता हूँ, ताकि मेरा
Right.
फोकस प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने पे रहे, ठीक है।
हाँ.
तो आई थिंक पैशन पैशन और यही सब चीज़ें हैं जो घूम फिर के आपके ऊपर वही क्वालिटीज आपकी हेल्प करेंगी आपको डेटा साइंस में एक्सेल करने में, ठीक है।
Right. 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 Um, and Shrikant is asking where can we learn AI? So बहुत सारे फ्री मीडियम्स भी है, जैसे आप यूट्यूब से सीख सकते हो. इफ यू वांट अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड अप्रोच देन यू कैन टेक अप कोर्सेज एज Puneet mentioned. Even Newton School provides a course on data science, so you can find the description in the link below. आपको curriculum and जो हमारी pedagogy है उसका better understanding मिलेगी कि how can we help you to become a successful data scientist. But the only thing is कि आपकी upskilling नहीं रुकनी चाहिए. You should
हाँ,
continuously find new things to learn, and as Puneet said, data science is the future. So if you could learn something in this field, then it will be helpful in your further job prospects as well.
आई मीन एक मैं ऐड करूंगा यहाँ पे, तो होता क्या है
हाँ.
कि अ, अगर किसी का एक्सपीरियंस भी नहीं होता, ठीक है,
हम्म.
तो हम एटलीस्ट इतना पूछते हैं कि अगर आपने कोई कोर्स कर लिया है,
हम्म.
ठीक है, पहली चीज, अगर कोर्स किया है, प्लस
हम्म.
कोर्स करने के बाद आपने कोई प्रोजेक्ट किया है, और वो
हम्म.
प्रोजेक्ट को जस्ट करने के लिए किया है या इसको रियली में सॉल्व करने के लिए किया है, ठीक है।
Right.
आपने 1 हफ्ता लगाया या 3 महीने
हाँ.
लगाए हैं, ठीक है।
हाँ.
तो वो आपके उतने से ही आपकी अप्रोच और आपकी मेंटालिटी पता लग जाती है कि आप कितना, अगर आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ज्वाइन कर जाओगे तो आप कितना उसको डेप्थ में जाओगे, और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को यही चाहिए होगा, ठीक है,
राइट।
क्योंकि क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज होती रहेगी, इवॉल्व होती रहेगी। आप में अडेप्टेबिलिटी कितनी है कि आप नए नए चेंजेस में अपग्रेड रखते हो अपने आप को। कंटिन्यूअस लर्निंग, जो सिद्धांत ने बोला कि कंटिन्यूअस लर्निंग आपका माइंडसेट है या नहीं है, बिलीव इट और नॉट, ये करना ही पड़ेगा, कोई और चॉइस नहीं है, ठीक है, समवन एल्स विल डू अदर।
And this is coming from one of the most credible sources because पुनीत खुद एक CEO है and वो काफी hiring करते होंगे and being in the field of AI automation, तो वो खुद interviews काफी सारे लेते होंगे लोगों के, और वो इन्हीं चीज़ों पे टेस्ट करते हैं कि क्या प्रोजेक्ट्स की है, क्या relevant courses की है, और प्रोजेक्ट्स करने के लिए किया है या फिर समझ के किया है. So, Puneet, I think that was very insightful, and it has been a very insightful session all in all. Thank you so much for your time.
थैंक यू सर।
We don't have any further questions. So, thank you so much for being with us, and it was really great to have you.
All right, thank you Siddhant for having me.
Yeah,
And
thank you everyone
good,
for joining.
good evening everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah,
Have a good
yeah. Bye everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you.